Okay, going to play the free association game freely, and I'm going to associate that with a mind game, not a board game, because if you're freely associating, you won't be bored, and there's no boredom allowed in board games, unless it's rather boring. So, or if you're in a boardroom. But we're not in a boardroom, and it's not boring when you're not in a boardroom. When you're in a boardroom, it's rather boring, and it's boring to all those who are present. They're probably bored while they're in the boardroom. But I digress. I was talking about freely associating with the free association. So, by its nature, we associate things that could be free or not be free, to be or not to be free or not to be free, to be me or not to be me. You're free to be you and me, and you can associate with me. So, this is a game. Since I have nothing to do, I'm going to make a game up and freely associate with the mind that's not bored, and the mind's not caught up in the boardroom, but it's caught up in a room somewhere. So we're going to freely associate with our thoughts that are associating together freely. So how do thoughts associate? Well, they have smaller thoughts. You would call them associates. So the main thought is the associator. The minuscule thoughts would be the associates, and they associate with each other. So we have the associator, the associates, and they associate together. And usually they're free to do so. So that's one form of free association. If they get stuck together, and they can't move about freely, are they still associating? Well, we don't know that. If they're stuck, they can't move, then they're not free, and they probably can't associate. So, if they want to get away from each other, they would disassociate. So, they would disassociate from each other, and they would be free to do so. Hence, once again, free association, and they agree to be free to disassociate from an association. You don't have to be part of an association to associate freely. You can remain apart and still be free and associate with yourself. So that's the game, free association. There's no charge for it, by the way. It's, you don't need a ticket. It's highly inexpensive. It's free, and you can choose to associate with that or not, because you're a free agent, and you can choose to associate with those who think likewise or not. They might not be free to associate with you, but they can still be your associate. So if you want to be free, truly free, free to be you and me, then you can associate with freedom. There's an association with that. So, if you have any other ideas in which you care to share outside the boardroom, freely do so. And so that's the game of free association. Of course, you are free to associate with other words besides free and associating. You kind of get stuck with the term free and associates. It could be an associative disorder that you not move out of the realm of just the free association mode. So you could free yourself up to associate with other words besides free and associates and associating. It's kind of invigorating to do that, to move outside the realm of the typical association of freedom. So, let's see. I think I have nothing more to add to that. I could choose to associate with what? Well, I could unassociate. That would be different from being disassociative. And I could unassociate and still be social. and be free and be socially free and socially conscious. So I think I'm free to associate about those things. And we can choose to associate with other forms of freedom, not just one form of freedom. Freedom comes in many forms, whether you choose to associate with it or not. That's your business. And if you start a business, by the way, you might want to find an associate to start that business. That's how it usually happens. You associate with other people to form a business and become associates freely. Because you live in a free what? A free society. Full of what? Associates. Who are what? Social. And who enjoy being free to associate, to be social with other associates. Unless you choose to disassociate and become unassociative. So that's the freedom association game. No board included. No people present in the boardroom. And no table, no desk. Because why? Because you don't need those things when you freely associate.